Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome back here for a beautiful Monday. I'll tell you, it seems like every day of the week, and you come on Mondays, it's just something about Mondays. I'm always glad to be here, and I hope you're always glad to be here too. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mary D. Welch, and I'm the host of The Mary D. Show. Today, our special guest is Dr. Donna Marie Hunter. Before I introduce Dr. Hunter to you, I would just want to take care of a couple of our housekeeping duties, and they are one, today you guys get a gift. I know this is new. I know we always doing something. Huh? So today, when you leave a comment, our executive producer, Oliver Welch, will be writing down the names of everybody that leaves a comment. Your names go in a hat. At the end of the show, we will pull the name of the winner of the free gift. And the free gift is the autographed copy of the book. This is the book, Saying No Nicely. You will get this. It will be mailed to you. As long as you are here in the show and you make a comment, you're eligible to win. But you'll have to send an email to mary@marydwelch.com. I'm sorry, I'm giving you the wrong email address. mary@firstbookacademy.com. For those of you, so you can write that down. So if you win, you'll send an email to mary@firstbookacademy.com, and then the book will be mailed to you. All righty. Now, before we get going, we also have to thank our sponsors for today's show. And our sponsors today are the Henderson Real Estate Team, the Henderson Real Estate Team.info. If you're buying or selling a home, you want to contact them, the Henderson Real Estate Team.info. You also, if you are interested in a nonprofit, if you're organized, you'd like to get your nonprofit going, if you want to get an LLC, or you want to get a C Corp or an S Corp, then you would contact the Idea Club. You go to theideaclub.com and you will contact, it's actually the president, which is Dumas Martin, and he can help you with all that. If you are traveling, doing any traveling, and you would like insurance, which I would highly recommend in these days and times that you get travel insurance. Travel insurance is not that much. It really isn't. But it gives you that sense of protection when you're traveling. You can go to firstfridaystravel.com, firstfridaystravel.com, and you can get your travel insurance. If you want to write your first book, you can go to firstbookacademy.com, firstbookacademy.com to write that first book. If you want to join our email list, all that is going down. The email list is marydwealth.com. Go to marydwealth.com. You'll get an email about 5 days before the show, or as you can see scrolling, if you want to be on the texting list, the texts and emails go out. The text messages go out the day of or the day before the show. Emails go out 5 days before the show. But you get all this information so you know who the special guest is. Now, we finished with all that. You guys are like, okay, now we're good. But I like to introduce you to our special guest today. Now, let me tell you some things about I call her Dr. Donna. Dr. Donna Marie Hunter. She's the host of a widely successful talk show called Grace and Space, which airs on RVN television, streaming on Roku Incorporated. She is an inspirational keynote speaker, a #1 international best-selling author, and an impassioned advocate. She believes that dreams, both large and small, do not have expiration dates. Oh, I like that. Even in the face of a harsh reality like her daughter's Allie's diagnosis of autism, Donna co-authored Women Who Rise and Women Who Empower. In Rise, she shares healing gleaned from allowing grace and space to healing brokenness and steps to becoming a repairer of the breach. Dr. Donna's chapter in Empower teaches us how we embrace our disappointments and realize the magic in being a misfit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like for you to welcome our special guest for today, Dr. Donna. You there, Dr. Donna?
I am here. Thank you, Mary D. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm so honored that you made it here. I know you're a busy lady. You have projects and things going on, but just the fact that you took a few minutes to be with us today is really appreciated. But why
Oh,
don't
I
you?
appreciate you. Thank
Oh,
you so
good.
much for the invitation, Mary. I appreciate you so very much. And yes, I'm packing. I'm out of here tomorrow. So
Oh my goodness.
yes, yes, yes. So
Where,
good
now,
day, good day,
where are
good
you
Monday.
headed? You're headed out of the
Back
country?
to New Jersey. Back to New
Okay.
Jersey to the studio. Yes, ma'am. I'm
Oh
here
my
today, though. I'm here.
goodness.
California
and,
sunshine.
and then you catch the flight back to
Yep,
on the
to New
East Coast. And
Jersey for the
is it
week.
cold back
Yes,
there now?
it is. It's around 50, 60, but it's okay.
Yeah, it is. I know we have family in New Jersey. They're in Williamstown, New Jersey.
Okay, I'm not familiar. I'm still
Okay.
searching this place out and
Okay. Okay.
definitely different from
Okay.
California.
Yes. 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 Well, I can tell you. Why don't you tell the audience? 'Cause I know you have your own. I mean, for you to be on my show, I'm just like, woo. Why don't you share with the audience about your show
Oh,
and all the how did you get there?
okay, you are so sweet to me. And by the way, I do not despise anything because I consider it an honor to be with you. You are truly known in the community as an advocate, as a leader, as an author. You are known. So I'm graced to be on your show, and I don't count that. I don't count it lightly. And I thank you so much for the invitation. So to tell you a little bit about Grace and Space,
Mhm.
my show on RVN. And again, like I said, I'm flying out, I got to tape some more, film some more episodes. It is a show that talks about, grace being forgiveness.
Mhm.
Grace is a gift that we give ourselves and we also give it to others. So grace meaning forgiveness, what we give ourselves in
Mm.
order when we've made a mistake or when someone has, I would say, crossed our path or done something to us. And then
Right.
the other premise is space. And space is just equated to time. It's what we give
Mm.
ourselves when we need to move forward and when we need to heal. You've got
Oh,
to have both because you've got to have the portion where you can forgive and you
right.
can understand and own the mistakes that you've made.
Right.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm the queen of mistakes.
No, no, no. You
Yes,
don't have
ma'am. Yes,
to.
ma'am. I can honestly say that I've truly made a lot of mistakes. Thus, I still
Yeah.
have to give myself grace, but I give
Mhm.
others the same grace that I want, for myself. And then time. Sometimes it just takes time
Yeah.
to heal the wounds, to heal the portions of life that we haven't done so well. So
Well,
that's me, and that's Grace and Space on RVN.
I'm
And we can
listening
tease it
to you
out
and
some
I'm
more, but
thinking, well, as you said, I mean, I can't even count the different mistakes I've made. There's so many. So just to even, like you said, give yourself grace and space. I think I need to do that more. Let me just say that,
yes, yes. That's
so,
the premise. The
and
premise is that we don't, okay, and I'm going to start preaching here.
okay.
We don't, as women, I'm just saying this to you because this is statistically true. This is statistically
Okay.
proven. As women,
Mhm.
especially women, we don't give ourselves grace. Now, we will give someone else grace. So if something
Mhm.
happens, Mary, between you and I, right? We rise up. I will give you grace,
Right.
but I will still be holding on to stuff for myself. Like I still haven't forgiven myself for the mistake that I've made. So there's like the 80-20 rule. We
Uh-huh.
are very prone as women to
Right.
give others grace, but we only give ourselves like 20%. We are so holding on to so much stuff. That's why I say grace, give it grace. When you've blown it, and I've
Mhm.
blown it, and when you've made a mistake, give it grace, say grace to it. That does not
Oh,
mean we take it lightly. It just means
mhm.
that we're not going to keep ruminating, bringing it up,
Okay.
going over it, over it, over it, over it, over it,
Now tell me, how did you come to Grace and Space? What made you know that this was something that was even needed?
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you, Mary. Good interview question. Taking that one with me to taking that one. All right. Okay. I'm taking that one. That's a good question. And how you just rolled right into it. I'm going to learn from you. See, that's what I said to you. This is how you do it. You have to learn from folks. You don't have
Oh,
it all when you go somewhere. Just
right.
because they invited you don't mean that you're fully, all there.
Mhm.
So that's a good question. So bottom line is not bottom line, but I wrote in the chapter that I wrote in Women Who Rise. And that's
Okay.
where the idea of grace and space is kind of like teased out a little bit more so that you can understand it.
Uh-huh.
I wrote about it because of my own experience with regards to my daughter. Now, grace is,
Mm.
yielded all over my life. I'll say in every area with relationships. But when it comes to our daughter who's special needs, And
Mm-hmm.
our organization is Allie's Allies, which I advocate for. And you'll see me teaching or just wanting
Right.
to make sure that folks have what they need with regards to their families and intellectual and developmental disabilities. Hello there, Charles. Thank you for being on. Whoop, whoop.
I
So,
tell you,
yeah, I wanted
always
to make
glad.
sure that we don't just ignore these wonderful
Oh
people that are
no, you
chiming
can't.
in. Isn't that
That's why I
cool?
said we put the comments up. Yeah, because I so appreciate anybody that makes a comment. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
Charles is in the house. Thank you, Charles.
Yes.
So women who rise. So women who rise is the
Uh-huh.
place where I really kind of unloaded, I'll say, on you all. I
Okay.
unloaded some stuff, and I told about how devastating it was, year after year, that our daughter did not progress. And every time there was a doctor's appointment, or I became more and more disappointed, disillusioned, and
Oh.
literally almost like, I'll say, to the point of almost like depressed, because at some point you want your baby to say your name. You just want to hear
Mm.
mama. I wanted to hear it. And
Yeah.
every time I would go into her room, I would think, okay, God, today's the day you're going to let her speak. You're going to heal her. And I'm praying, right?
Right.
And I'd go in the room and she'd still be out in that autistic state. And every time it happened, I just became more and more disillusioned. So
Right.
doctor's
Right.
appointments, life, what have you.
Right.
So that portion of writing about giving, not only God giving me the grace
Yeah.
to deal with what I have to deal with on a daily basis. She's
Right.
30 now, and I still take care of her and my sisters, my family. Everybody pitches in,
Right.
take care, help us to take care of her.
Uh-huh.
Um, but that was the portion. Writing that chapter in
Hmm.
Women Who Rise was the first portion of understanding grace that I needed to give myself. And I also needed to do some work on forgiving. I would say God. I hope that doesn't sound too arrogant.
No, it doesn't, because I think what happens with that with us with loss, or as you're saying, with disappointment, we blame God.
Yeah,
So that's why it doesn't sound. I totally understand what you're saying.
you
Is
get it.
that you have to give that, say, Lord, I forgive you, because otherwise that can set up all kinds of not just anxiety, but where you can even be hating. And how many people haven't said that? I hate you for this. I hate that I have to go through
Mm,
this. All
yeah.
of that, those feelings are totally normal.
Yes. I'm so glad you validated, because I'm disappointed, God. This did not go the way I expected it
That's
to
right.
go. It did not go to the way I expected it to go. Yeah, yeah, you got another one.
I
Y'all some faithful watchers, faithful watchers.
They are. And you know
Very good.
what? If the show would not be the show without them, it would not
Oh,
be.
that is so awesome. That
It
is so
is. Yeah.
cool.
So
Love it,
thank
love
you.
it. And thank you for the welcome, Gwendolyn.
Thanks,
So yes, the
Gwen.
grace and space
I know. And
portion
that's
of life. Thank you
this
so
is
much.
that's
The grace
actually
and space
family.
portion of life.
And this is another cousin that's family. Hi, these are my cousins. This is Henrietta and Gwen are both cousins. And
Oh,
I
hey,
tell you that.
cousins.
And I tell you, without their support, like I said, the show wouldn't go on.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It
I
is.
appreciate them being
I
on and being
know.
faithful followers and
Oh, I
engaging with
tell
you,
you.
truly.
But
So you tell me if you want a little bit more and deeper. You tell me. I just don't want to take over because I'm a
no,
talker.
no,
Can
no,
you
no. I'm
tell?
listening, because all the things you're saying, we're actually going through personal situations right now that you're actually filling in some gaps for us. Let me tell you that now. You really are. So no, don't feel like that,
Okay.
because that's one thing I really need right now is grace and space, because of, like I said, some loss, family losses. But
Mm,
when life doesn't go the way we expect it to go,
mhm.
almost always there's a sense of letdown.
Right.
There's a sense of, well, it went that way for that person. Why didn't it go
Mm,
that way for me?
mhm,
And
mhm.
that kind of, and we do, whether we know it or not, there's a comparison going on.
Yes, talk about it. We'll talk about it, because I talk about that too. And when I teach, is that there's a portion of grace and space. And I'm going to say this with regards to Women Who Rise. There's a portion of it where it's like, I don't understand it. But what comes into my life is my girlfriend's daughter. So one of the things when you have a daughter, like I had dreams, just totally, and I tell you, I say that to you because I write about the fact that dreams don't have an expiration date. They
Right,
truly don't. They really don't. Now, when you're in the midst and you're hurting and you're feeling disillusioned or you're disappointed,
right.
that part, that's the hard space.
It doesn't feel good.
Nevertheless, Yeah, that's it's and
Yeah.
it's real. That's why when you said that we're going through something right now,
Yeah.
yeah, when you're in it, you don't always see the grace portion. The other part is when God does it, and this is I'm saying God because that's where I anchor my faith at.
Right.
When God does it, that's the grace gift for
Right.
me with Alex. I really wanted to be the mother that went, did the prom thing. I don't know if you can tell, but I love clothes and fashion and all that stuff. And I have given away 5 bags. I'm just saying, you all. I know that we are not in that space where we have to wear clothes like that all the time. So I've
Right.
given away clothes, but I do like them, and so I love dressing up. Thought I was going to have, and I still dressed up Alex. I still treated her like a princess, like a little
Right.
doll.
Right.
But it wasn't the same when everybody else's girls were going to prom and everybody else's girls were going to dances and doing all of the things that
Yeah.
I didn't get to do with my mom. That just wasn't part of our relationship. And she
Right.
had her own issues going on. So I really was hoping, and I had put my hope in my daughter. Now
Right.
that's another thing. You can't live your life through your kids. And I didn't know I
Mm.
was doing that, but that's exactly what I was doing. I was
So,
trying to
yeah.
repair my own heart by doing all of this for my daughter because it's
Right.
what I needed.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? We still
It's
do
no,
do
we
that.
all do that, I think. I think there's a part of us because they're little me's. There are little
Mhm.
me's. There's there what they
And
call them.
I'm just saying, what can I say?
Yeah.
This was my opportunity. This was
Yes,
my
ma'am.
opportunity. Hey,
Yeah.
your hubby is on.
I
All right.
see. I see.
But
And
this was
Oliver
my
says,
opportunity to have
um,
what I didn't have. So I was thinking that God had disappointed me. And then my daughter, I should say my girlfriend's daughter, she invited me in because I didn't get to do the wedding thing. And that was part of it was like a devastating blow to me, really, when I actually owned it, that I truly was disappointed that I didn't get that part of life, the
right.
wedding and the whole piece of being the mother of the bride and doing all of the shopping and what have you. And we talk about that in the documentary. Colored My Mind Diagnosis is a documentary. It's an award-winning
Uh-huh.
documentary that was done with Tisha Campbell, LaDonna Hughley, Shannon Nash, and Tammy McCrary. Those are all
Oh,
bigwigs in the entertainment
I
field,
was
and
gonna say
those
these
are
are
bigwigs.
names. These are A-listers.
Yeah, those, and I'm saying that not to do name drop, but these are women,
Uh-huh.
honestly, who we tell our story in this documentary, and we talk about the heartbreak, but we also talk about the hope. We talk about the heartbreak,
Oh,
we talk about the hope. We talk
got
about
it.
the hope. And in that documentary is where I shared
Uh-huh.
the devastation of not being a mom that got to do the prom thing and got to do the wedding thing. So my girlfriend's daughter, my girlfriend LaDonna, her daughter invited me to be a part of her wedding. And
Oh,
oh, I can tell you right now, I could just cry. I still
uh-huh.
could cry. She invited me to go shopping with she and LaDonna, and I'm telling you, it repaired my soul.
Oh,
So it wasn't the dream, and it wasn't the dream that I thought, but
right.
it was brought back to me in another way, in another form that truly repaired my heart. And I could write about it. And when I did, I wrote a little snippet on
Hmm.
Facebook. And the
Right.
next thing you know, I get to write about it fully in a chapter in the book. And
Oh,
it just kind
well,
of morphed into
tell
even more
me,
so.
how did she come to that? Did she just know that you would want to do that, or how did she just invited you and said, "Would you like to come with us?" When we were looking for the wedding dresses or the bridesmaid dresses, or
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is not a time to cry because I did put on some eyeliner. So it's
okay,
like, don't cry,
okay,
right?
okay,
Mary,
just don't.
Mary, you don't cry on live. Don't cry on live. So just tell me when I start acting really strange.
No,
Tell me, Donna, just get
no,
into
Dr.
it.
Donna, because
Oh,
how
okay.
did she? That's
How do
grace
I
for her
say
to do
this? How
that.
do I say it without I'm still weak for her and doing this for me.
Oh,
I'm still weak. I'm still weak.
mm,
I'm still weak. I'm still weak when I tell you that she saw that she could see my heart. I think she could just see my heart. Oh, dang on it. And I didn't bring tissue. She could see my heart. She could see the brokenness of my heart.
mm.
And she said, Auntie Don Don, I want you to come with me to get my dress.
Oh,
And I literally, she sent me a dozen lilies. Her nickname is Lily. LaDonna calls her Lily.
Uh-huh.
LaDonna nicknamed Ryan Nicole Hughley. Now she's Shepherd. She named her Lily. And so she sent me a dozen lilies and she wrote me a note and said, I would be honored if you came with me to get my dress.
Oh,
Knocked me out. I literally cried so much just at the invitation. I was good.
yeah.
Like I could feel the healing of my heart that somebody saw the portion of me that was broken
Yeah.
and was disappointed. She saw it. I
And
don't
she,
know
yeah,
how because
she
I have other
recognized
nieces.
it. She probably, like you said, she could feel your heart.
I
That
don't know.
this was something that it's not that you may never experience it, but
Mhm.
at this point in time when other young ladies were experiencing it, it just wasn't happening at that time.
Yeah,
And
she saw
so
it.
she saw it and she said, I
Yeah,
can, this is what I can do. Because
yeah,
she can't do everything, but this is what she can do. And she let you be
yeah.
a part of something so intimate,
Oh, and you can
so
imagine.
important.
Mhm.
When you know how we are about the dress,
Say it. That's why I'm sorry.
Ah,
Like, say it, Mary. Let's just be
the
honest. If you
dress,
ask for anything, that's the biggest thing. So
it's the
that's
big
the
thing.
juxtaposition that we're in because you
Yeah,
remember this is LaDonna's first daughter. This is her first daughter getting married too. So
yeah.
I don't want to step into that and create a breach between myself and my friend.
Right,
I
right,
don't
right,
want that. I don't want to do that. That's not where I'm at. So
right.
me, I call LaDonna. That's the first thing I do after I didn't stop crying. I'm still crying. It's been
Oh,
2 years. I'm still crying. But I called LaDonna and I said, friend, this is what happened. And she said, I know, friend. And she said, Ryan has made a decision and this is what she wants. And
oh,
I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And because it's one thing, for us to be good friends, besties for whatever, for 40 years. We've been
right,
friends for over 40 years. I could not do that because I didn't know what her dreams were for her daughter. Like I had dreams, so I didn't want to create a breach. That's why I call it repairing the breach, the breach of
right.
brokenness. The
I
chapter is repairing the
understand.
breach. I didn't want to break her heart or interfere on her life or interfere. So
Uh-huh.
that's why I kind of like let it kind of lay. But she was insistent to follow Ryan's lead, and Ryan was insistent to bring me in. Now
Oh,
Ryan didn't know this was going to repair my soul.
right,
He
right, right,
thought
right.
she wanted to bless Auntie Donna or bring me in, and she just did. She
And
just
you know what it really shows too, that she was sensitive to you, that she was in tune with you, that that really says a lot for a young person because usually a young person is all about them, you know. But for her to reach out and then
Mhm.
to send you flowers and all, it's such a kindness in
I
this young lady.
oh and let me say this to you, and I know we all have really great kids. Don't get me wrong. I have wonderful children. I do. And we all do. And I think all of my girlfriends that I have that are close to me, we have great kids. I mean, I just don't want to be so braggy, but they're great kids, great, great, great
Mhm.
kids. All of them, all of my
Mhm.
girlfriends have great kids. But this one, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, and she just made that decision. She had
Right.
no idea what it meant to me. She just didn't. And so when I
Okay.
say people always think, what I'm going back to the word that you use, you said competition. I think you said compare. One of the reasons I don't like to compare or to compete, I love the fact that we co labor, we contrast,
Right.
and we commune and connect because I don't want to compete with you. I believe your calling, Mary D, your show is your show. It's going to be great. It's going to be all that God wants you to be. You don't have to
Mhm.
worry. It's going to be all of that. And
Right.
the same thing with Grace in Space. It's a different show. It's doing something different. It's a different personality. It's going to do what it's going to do.
Right.
Giving it, just let it be what it's going to be.
Right.
So when it looking at life,
Uh-huh.
I never got to do that. And most women, that is like that's a common spot. They just get to do that. So for me,
Right.
it's like I couldn't put myself in a position where I was going to be comparing, like, oh, they got to do this. No, I never wanted to compare. I
Mhm.
just kept my eyes on blessing or truly making sure I was present for the people that I did get to go to weddings and things like that for.
Oh,
I never
and
thought that this
I'm
would come
lis-
back around.
I'm listening to you because I'm thinking about this was years ago, but a friend of mine, we used to walk together in the morning, and I remember one day I said this to her. And I said, I wish I was like somebody else. I forget who it was. She literally stopped in her tracks and she said, don't you ever say that again. And she said, God made you, Mary.
Mm. Yeah.
You are married. That's it.
Mm.
Don't wish for anything else. Don't want to be anything else. Don't try to be anything else. Be married. It literally, like you said about saving your soul, that touched my heart and saved my soul, because
Mm.
from that day on I've just been who I am. I don't try to be anybody else. I don't try to do any, because I had to come to terms with, I was saying that because something I felt was missing from, and
Mm.
the truth was it wasn't, but I
Mm.
thought it was. I
Mhm.
thought it, and it's just really, and that's what, like you said, what you've gone through, and it's not that I don't want to say through or anything like that, but
Mhm.
lived
Yeah.
truly. Um, the grace you have, that young lady, that was grace. The
Amen.
space she gave you, that was space. All of those things, the grace and space you give your daughter, it's
Mm.
so, it is bigger than you can even imagine. Even as I'm
Um,
listening to you, it is more than, because the God knew you could handle all the things that you've had to handle,
mm.
and that's why they were for you to handle. That's
Yeah.
what I always believe. If there's other people, there somebody that would not be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle it.
Yeah. It's a
So
very and I don't say that in an arrogant way, but you're right. It's not
yes,
for the faint of heart. It's not. To have
no,
a 30-year-old who is literally cognitively 3, physiologically she's more like a 12 or a 14-year-old physically because she's still very tiny. And I'm grateful for that because I don't know if I can handle a 6'4", a 6'2"
right,
baby,
right,
because literally she's still a baby in her mind.
right,
Cognitively, she did not progress. Thus, that's one of the reasons why we advocate, is because we want to make sure that folks get the information while there's time, while we can make
right.
sure that folks, their families are exposed to what the signs are for intellectual and developmental disabilities. So that's portion. But
Yes.
the other part is not for the faint of heart. I mean,
Right.
sometimes my sister will tell you she's here. When I travel, she comes and watches Alex and takes good care of her. And one of my sisters has pretty much watched Alex pretty much throughout my career when I was back when I was an educator and
Mhm.
principal in the school district, and even now as a talk show host. I still have family that help me, and they know, and they all know it's not for the faint of heart. Sometimes it's a bath 3 times in a day because
Right.
she's had an accident or she's overstimulated and she's making. That's why I told you, I said, if we have to take a break, it's not because I need one, it's
Oh, no,
because
no.
I'm
And as
I'm
I said before,
miscarrying,
all
right?
you have to do is
But
say so.
we're okay. But I'm
And
just saying to you, it's not for the faint of heart. So
right.
I may travel. I get to go. I spend a week in New Jersey, and I spend a week in California. But as I say this to you, even now, I have to be cognizant of the fact when I come back in, people say, "Oh, isn't that great?" I was, yes, it's really fun. However, the other portion is I have to jump back into laundry, take bathing, all of the stuff that people don't think about.
Right.
That's part of my life.
Right.
And then I get to be a show host and doing this part. But there's
Right.
the portion where my life is different than most people. And I've been given a grace that I can't explain
Yes.
to manage it. And
And
God has been
yes,
so good in giving that to me. Because I don't know. I don't know how else people do it.
because I think if you, like you said, if you were to sit down and really think about it, you probably don't even know how you're doing it. That's where that the grace from God is coming from. You don't even know, if you were to literally sit down and write down all the things you do, all the things that have to be done, and how you make it through the day. It's, you would look back and go, what if you're, but a lot of it, we don't have time to look back. We're
I'm
too
telling you
busy taking care of it.
that.
You don't have time for that.
Mhm,
That's not
mhm.
that's
Yeah.
not on that's not on the
Mhm.
to-do list. You take care
No.
of the things that have to be taken care of. And I
Right.
can tell you right now, your daughter is blessed for you to
I
be her
feel.
mother. You
Oh.
she's blessed to have you as a mother. You're blessed to have her as a daughter, but it's not easy. It can't be.
Mm,
It can't
mm.
be. So know that our prayers are with you. This
Oh, thank
is,
you.
I mean that. This is not
Mhm.
easy. I can't,
Amen. I agree.
and then to do what you've done, which is still become an author, which is probably late at night, when it's quiet or whatever, when you find the time, and you kind of have to make the time in there so that you can write and publish and all those things. Because I know how time consuming that can be.
Yes,
And
you're an author and a publisher, so you get it. You get it. And
Mhm.
I just want to say you are right. I don't want to make it sound like, like it's so hard, and I'm, feel sorry for me. Please
No,
don't.
I don't.
I'm so graced. That's why I say to you, somebody else could not have done this.
Right.
No, because God graced me with it.
Right.
I'm saying that in a very specific way. I was graced with the ability to care and have this daughter. At the same time, the burden, sometimes it gets heavy.
Right.
And sometimes you get to a place
Yeah.
and I'm graced again. He just continues to come back and feel when I tell the story and I'm able to tell and encourage others, you right now, and somebody hopefully that's watching,
Right.
if you see something about your child that you're not sure about, you don't see them talking, you see them on their tippy toes, you see them lining up, you see them babbling and they're not progressing. I can say to them, I can advocate and I can talk to you and say, I get it. I understand. Let's go make sure and get ruled out that there's nothing else going on. So I have a passion for that because I've been graced with a daughter that I deal with on a daily basis that's 30
Mhm.
years old. And I know that nobody else has to go through that.
Right.
There is help and there is hope. We
Right.
can get you to another spot if we get there early enough to give you
Mhm.
the interventions and the resources to make sure that you are progressing the way you should be along the developmental journey.
Now I know you mentioned too about the movie that um, you worked with the other ladies on. That was an independent.
Yes, it was an independent film. It's a documentary. Well, they call it a docu-feature because it also stars Nicole Ari Parker and Blair Underwood. So the narrative comes through with our stories, and then you'll see Blair and Nicole Ari Parker kind of go through some of the emotions that we express in our narrative. They
Right.
actually, and I'm going to be honest with you, they were not given a script.
You're
So,
kidding. This is
no,
unscripted. This is unscripted.
Nia T. Hill, the producer extraordinaire, I mean, that's who she is, writer, producer. She literally did not script them. So literally they moved through this. That's why that movie won awards and still, will be probably airing again in April during Autism Month
Uh-huh.
on television, or either, hopefully again it'll be airing. But the
Okay.
reason it's still around, I believe, and it's has been 11 years, 10 years, excuse me,
Oh my
at the
goodness.
10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that movie, because it just touches your heart. It touches your heart and
Mhm.
it's very real. It's not a
Uh-huh.
long movie. It's a 20-minute documentary.
Right.
It's called a short, but it touches your heart because it goes right to the points of how we as parents deal with this idea of diagnosis, and then how we experience it as, how we experience it as the parents of trying to listen and hear and get all that information from doctors, and then what do we do to move forward. And Tisha like hits it out of the park at the end.
Mm-hmm.
She said and she just tell you, there is hope. There is
Oh.
hope. And that kind of like moves your heart to move forward. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't end with us being, devastated and laid out. No, it does.
Right.
We do have some times in there, but it talks about the hope at the other end.
Oh, that's one, because I think now, is it a son or a daughter that has autistic for?
I'm the only mom in the movie that has a daughter.
Okay, got it,
So
got it, got
so literally just for the most part, and in life too,
it. Mhm.
uh it's like a 1 in 5. I think it's like from male female, so it's like
Uh-huh.
one in, so the numbers are exactly had as we are.
Okay.
Oh, so just so you know, that it's 1 in 5 girls, but it's 1 in 4 that is on the spectrum or has a developmental or an intellectual disability.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do a really quick go back and say hello to all the people that made comments, and they are Charles, Gwendolyn, Henrietta, Oliver, and Jeanette. And Jeanette's comment we hadn't read yet, and then Richard Nichols just came on. Hello, Mary and Dr. Hunter. May God always continue to bless each and every one of you. God continued blessings. Love you all in Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thank you, omnipotent God Almighty, for your anointing. Thank you, Jeanette. That was beautiful.
Yes.
And we have Richard Nichols. Hi, Richard. And hi, Jeanette. And Richard says, hello, Mary and Dr. Hunter. Each
Oh,
of you, remember now, you're going to be entered into that drawing for that book. So just keep in mind, and Oliver is writing down your names and everything. We'll let you know at the end of the show who the winner is.
is.
Just
Okay.
so you'll find out soon. But I'm listening because of a
Mhm.
couple of things. I'm interested in writing a screenplay, all these nice. I'm just interested. I think I've given myself the grace, I guess, to just be okay with being creative,
Mhm.
and it is
Mhm.
okay. Instead
Yes.
of going, oh, amen. Jeanette said amen. Oh, there you go. Hi, Jeanette. So that's what I'm definitely interested in. But I can't get over there was no script. I'm trying to figure
No.
out how does that work if it's unscripted.
Yeah. Okay. So she did, and Nia T. Hill, she did interview each one of us just a little bit to and we had like a meeting because she didn't even know about autism when we spoke with her to do
Okay.
this project. And so she had to learn what autism was and what it is.
Right.
And then she literally just intuitively, as she did our interviews,
Mm-hmm.
it's a gifting. She just rolled through it. And then she took all of that footage, brought it together. And it's almost like she put it together with Brett, like I forget Brett's last name,
Uh-huh.
the editor, and put it together. And you can see the narrative. You can see how you come to grips with it, the devastation parting of it, and then the rise. Just like any good script comes, it has to have, that turmoil or that challenge, and then
Yep.
how you overcome it.
Isn't
She
that the truth?
she's a she's a natural. She was a natural at it,
Okay.
and just has that knack. Can I say something else to you? Because I heard you say
Yes,
something.
yes, yes, yes.
You said that you said this at the very beginning. You talk about a little bit of things that you do. I just want to encourage you because nobody is a one note anything. And
Yes,
so I'm glad that you said, I want to make a film. You want to do it.
yes.
Therefore, put it out in the atmosphere, put it out there. You want to do it? Okay.
I
Then
do,
I'm
I
just
do.
yeah. You gotta put it out there and
I
own
do,
that portion that you want to do something.
I do.
And then you find the people, the who's. I'm a coach. You find the who's around you to help you build that dream. That's why I said dreams
I
don't have
do.
expiration dates. You want to do something, then
Yes.
find out who, and it's a who, it's not a what, it's a who. There's got to be people that have done what you would like to do. How do you find, connect, and build with them? That's how you bring that dream into fruition. That's how
And
it brings it in.
I was telling just last night, I was telling my husband, I have ideas for 5 movies. And I'm
Mm.
learning to write. I'm writing the treatment for one right now. And I said, and I was going over with him what it's going to cost to make the movie. And then I'm talking in terms of hundreds of thousands of dollars, by the way. And I'm acting like I'm talking in terms of like $100. And I said, to myself, I'm thinking, why are you talking like this? You're talking like you guys to have all this money to make this movie. Because I guess when I'm really putting it out there, it's like, Lord, you have it. I don't know where it's coming from. I have no
Mhm.
idea, but
Mhm.
you can make this happen. And
Yes.
and you'll be the first one that when the movie has the premiere, I'm gonna call you Dr. Donna.
All right now. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting it. You know
I
what?
would I would
I I really
Mhm.
appreciate you because you said you just said a couple of things that kind of jar me in, and you asked me from the very beginning, how did I get from talking about in my book to
Yeah.
getting to a show on RVN and streaming on
Uh-huh.
Roku? I would say this: I literally just did what was in front of me. Like, really, when we went into the pandemic, we were doing our symposiums for Allie's Allies. We
Uh-huh.
were trying to go out. We were in churches, community centers, really trying to make sure that we gave the information of, with Learn the Signs Act early for intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, we can't go out. We didn't know how, and you don't necessarily go into churches right now with a Zoom meeting about parent ed. It just didn't work.
Right.
But what could we do? I got
Yeah.
on and I just I prayed about it and said, okay, how about rise and repair? How about we have a conversation about, have an honest conversation about what's going on? And I had people on that had special needs kids. I had people that had breast cancer, and just talk to them about their journey and their struggle.
Mm-hmm.
That's where someone saw that. And that's where I got the offer to be on another show, and got an offer to have a show. So
Oh,
what you're saying, you just do what do the one thing that's right in front of you right now. Just
right.
do that one thing and see where that lands. And
Oh,
I know, and be open to it. That's why I said,
oh.
if it's a dream that you have,
Mm-hmm.
I had this dream for a very long time, to be a
Okay.
talk show host.
Uh-huh.
I've been a talker. Talker, talker, talker,
But that's
talker, talker.
okay. But you know,
Yes. Thank
but
you, Mary. You're one of the few people that says that. Most
no,
of the time in
because
my life, it's been the
most people,
opposite. They always
no,
say, oh,
people
she
are
talks a lot.
scared. They're
Ooh, she
scared
talks
to
a
do. You know
lot.
what I know? They're afraid to go on camera. They're afraid to
Mm.
do what we're doing. I have
No,
had
no,
people tell me, I'll talk, but I don't want people to see me. I've had them say it.
no,
So it's telling me that
no,
that fear is
no,
real. And
no. I
you
don't,
don't know that.
I'm a child. Let me say this. This is the
Okay.
honest truth. I'm saying something a little bit different. Okay. Just a little bit different. I'm saying to you that most of my life, I'm a talker. Like, I
Okay.
like to talk. And most of the time, I've either gotten in trouble for it, or people, you talk too much. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on now. You know us talkers. Come on now. You know us talkers. We talk, and
Okay.
folks get tired, right? Okay. We hope y'all still there. Somebody chime in the chat, so we are just not by ourselves. So if you're a talker, that sometimes will kind of makes you want to recoil, because people were like, she's a chat, right? Well,
Mhm.
the very thing that the enemy would try to discourage me on is my gifting. That's my
Mm.
gift.
Yeah.
That's my that's part of my ability. That's part of what God has given me to put into the earth, to be
Right.
bread to the nation, to encourage folks, and to motivate them, and to move them on, and to let them know, even in face of devastation, in face of disappointment, you can still have a dream. Your dream can still be manifested. I don't know. I mean, that's just part of who I am. So I say this to you: the very thing that folks will try to discourage you about may be the very thing that will be used to propel you into your next. So keep talking if you're a
Mm.
talker. Just find an avenue. Find an avenue to say what you want to say.
Oh, but you know what? I'll tell you, and even how this all started. I started with Facebook Lives 2 years ago,
Mm.
not ever thinking. I didn't even know. I was afraid to hit the go live. By the way, I was scared to hit. No, I'm serious. I literally was.
Amen.
I was doing one of these. I was shaking. I'm not kidding. And I finally said, okay, the only way you're going to get over this is to hit the
Just
go
do it.
live.
Yeah, do it.
And it sounds simple, but it's not when you haven't done it. And I finally did it, and then I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And then one thing led to another, and then the show, someone showed me StreamYard. I think it was my son showed me
Mhm.
StreamYard. It's just been one, and I'll be honest, just what you said is so true. Just do one thing. Just keep doing
Yeah.
the one thing.
Mhm.
Just keep doing, and
Mhm.
don't look to the left or the right. Oh, I see Elaine Wilson just came on. She said, "I saw
Mhm.
you. I see you, Elaine. Amen, amen." Just keep doing
No.
that. And
Mhm.
Elaine's going to be coming on the show too. I can tell you there's so many people. The show exists because people have said, "How can I help you?" Because
Aw.
people have said, "I have a friend that's like yourself that said, that, said that would make such a wonderful guest." Like, I'm not kidding. It is people, and
Oh.
the love for people, and people saying, "You can
Mhm.
do this." But I would be
Mm.
lying if I tell you I wasn't scared.
Yes.
I was scared.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even now, I'm more calmer than I think I've been in a lot,
Mhm.
as far as the more I do it, the
Mhm.
calmer I get with it. I don't talk
Mhm.
as fast. That's one thing I've noticed. My anxiety level is not, off
As
the,
high.
off the scale,
Mhm. Mhm.
but it is because of people like yourself. When you come on, you're bringing so much valuable information to our community.
Mm.
You're giving people space and grace. You're
Aw.
giving all of those things. It's that giving that we're doing.
Mm.
That's what makes a difference. So I just
I
want to
love
tell you,
that.
just keep doing what you're doing. Please keep doing
Aw.
it. I
I'm
mean,
telling you the same. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you the same. I will say this. You take the one step, the other thing I just heard on Sunday. you have to take another one. As soon as that door opens and you've seen what can happen,
Yeah.
fine. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm basking in this moment and being very, very intentionally grateful for the
Right.
show that I have on. Just holding that close and saying grateful, 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 faithful, faithful, faithful is he, right?
Oh,
And at the same time, you also know that he doesn't just bring you right to here. There's
yeah.
more for you to do and to glean. So
Right.
show me what that portion is too. In the meantime,
Hmm.
make me as bread for the nation, and
Oh.
allow me to continue to
Mhm.
do this. I really love the prayer of Jabez. I don't know if the prayer, right? The
Yes.
prayer of Jabez.
To increase your
Enlarge.
territory. Yep.
Yeah, enlarge my territory.
That's right.
I want to enlarge the territory, not for the sake of just enlarging it. I want to have a message and a messaging that says there is hope. And here's some tools. If you have this area, of your life with a special needs child, I want to support and help you here.
Right.
If you're stuck as just a person, a woman
Right.
in a place of disappointment, find out what you can do to pivot. And I call it in Women Who Rise, or to repair. If there's something going on in the heart, do the work of
Mhm.
repair. Do that part first. I just happened to have somebody that touched on mine with
Right.
that dress, taking me with her to the shop. And by
Right.
the way, and I know it's on Facebook, I know it's all over the place, but Ryan Nicole Hughley's dress is amazing. It is amazing. I can talk about it now because she's
Mhm.
been married, all
Right.
over
Right. Right.
2 years. But that dress, literally, when she put it on and was standing there in front of me, I fell to my knees. Like, I was sitting down. Okay, I'm
Right.
older
Right.
dramatic.
Right.
My girlfriends are like, "Now look here, you didn't fall out." Right? They're like, why'd you say that on Mary's show? You didn't fall out like that. You did not have that moment. Okay, so but I was sitting in, and it was a truly, this boutique, it's Beverly Hills.
Mhm.
This is LaDonna, this is them Hughleys, right? I don't live like that. They do, but they let me come and see in. So I'm
Um.
sitting in the chair,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just grateful to be there. And they offer you champagne. I'm not a champagne drinker. I couldn't drink anything. I couldn't even hold a glass. I was just so happy to be there. And when she comes in, I look
Mhm.
up at her, and
Oh.
I just started bawling.
Oh.
I'm bawling. She is, it's like I'm here. I'm sitting here with them.
Mhm.
And of course, Tyler Whitney was there, her sister. I'm bawling. And they're like, Auntie Don Don, are you okay? Get up, get up. I was like, and LaDonna was like, friend, you just can't control yourself. She always brings me back to reality. She's the mother, and I'm just the
I
auntie, and I'm on
know,
the
I know.
floor.
But you're doing what the mother would be doing. But remember, this is twofold
I'm jacked up.
because
Yes,
she's
I'm just so,
beautiful. You're crying for that, but you're
yes.
also crying for your daughter. There's a combination going on here.
That Mary D. Welch. Oh, yes, yes,
It's
yes,
you know what
yes.
I mean. It is.
Yeah,
You're
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 all in my
you're so
business.
full. That's why
Yes.
you broke down crying. You were so full. That's
Oh, it
so
was a
I
lot.
understand. I
Yeah, I was
really really
I
do.
was I was literally cut to the quick and laid out, and I literally had to like gather myself, literally. And
I
it
believe
was
it.
absolutely a beautiful day. And it truly
Oh
just started the work of repair, to release some of that disappointment, to
yes.
entreat God to heal it, and then to petition. I mean, I literally, you have to petition God. I call it repair, to
Right.
petition God, and then to do an action, do something that's associated with the fact that you want to be healed.
Right.
Intentionally, be intentionally do
Uh-huh.
something. And then I say the R is to restore. Be a restorer. So what you're doing right now is restoring others and empowering them, so that they can, one, watch you and say, oh, Mary can do it, I can do it. That's one
Um,
portion. And then you bring on all these women with all these wonderful stories, and you empower us.
oh,
You are becoming a repair of the breach. You are restoring us and empowering us to do great things in the earth. So that's part
um,
of
thank
what
you.
I experience, and I see that in you.
Oh,
Thank you
thank you,
so
thank you,
much.
thank you. I tell you what, I truly enjoy sharing because I started. I think on the email list. The email list started because I was sharing information with people. That's all it really was ever meant to be, is things that were happening in my life, and then I started sharing it with people. And then people start telling, I didn't even know at that time, but to be honest, people were forwarding it to other people. I didn't even know. Now I put it at the top. Please share this with people. Don't let it just stop with you. You know, whatever. If it's information that can help someone else,
Mhm.
just imagine, think about what that does if we all did that. And we share in
Mm.
our community, and that community shares how it literally, if we be honest, probably could go around the world. Because
Mhm.
we'd all be sharing, we'd all be
Yes.
caring, and we'd all
Yeah.
be giving to other people.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's
It's
really
a
the key.
seed. Mhm. Yeah. It's a seed. Everything, and that's how I kind of perceive it, especially when I don't make a good decision or I haven't made a really good one.
Mhm.
Everything we do, to me, it comes back to being a seed. So you're
Mm,
going to reap a harvest. You're going to reap a harvest. Whether so when you're making those choices, very, very hard. I'm just being honest with you, very, very hard, not making always good choices every single day and time. I do say though, in on Grace and Space, it's the
mhm.
rise and the repair of relationships with,
Okay.
in the conversation with me, with Grace and Space, there still has to be that portion of you where you're willing to get back up, to do the
Mm.
rising portion, to do the rise portion. You've got to, be resilient. You've got to, and
Ooh,
I know I have an acrostic or an acronym for everything, but it helps people to understand, it helps people to hold on to it. If you
okay.
can rise, be resilient. Yes, it's hard. Yes, Mary did not have it all together when she did this, but she hit the button and she came back at it and she kept coming back at it.
Yep.
She intentionally brought on people and got help from her son so that she could be on StreamYard. I get it. I have my son did the same thing for me with our first show. And then spiritually minded and soulful and understanding there's a supernatural portion that flows out of us when we're operating in our gifts and in our callings, when we're operating in truth. That
Wow.
portion, I want that all day long. And then that
Mm.
last E is excellence, which I think is an empowering way. You even, like I said, you make sure I got to get Donna on early, make sure her camera's right, make sure
Mhm.
um, you know, let's see what she looked like before we go put this thing on live. Did she comb her hair, brush her teeth? What is she looking like before I put this one on there? Well, you don't know me. You don't know.
I know what
Hopefully,
you
the
said.
pictures you put on Facebook. Well, it could be nice today, but today, tomorrow, she could be looking, cray cray. So
I hear what you
you
said
want
though.
an excellent work. You want an excellent work. You want people who have the heart to do an excellent work,
Oh yeah.
and thus you come as you come excellent. You
Oh,
you have your
I
stuff
try.
together. Oh yes, you do.
Oh,
Oh
thank
yes,
you.
you
I
do.
tell you, and people don't see what people don't see is the behind the scenes, as you know. We only see what that that's all we're allowed to see. Let me say
Yeah,
that. But
and that's all we need to see. I don't want to see all that. I don't
I
see. I want to
know,
see.
but but the real work is behind the scenes. If we be
Yeah, that's
honest,
true.
it
Yeah,
is
that's true.
it's behind the scenes. That's where it all
Yes.
that's what all comes together.
Yes,
But
honestly, truthfully, yes. Because because I say that also for me for
mhm.
when I have to go back to New Jersey this next week, everything for the show has to be done prior to when the camera is on.
See,
That's the portion where I have to show up and be present, right?
right.
But all of the work before that is the producers, the
Yep,
people, all of them doing all of their stuff in advance. Like you said, it's the backwards,
it
it's
is.
behind the scenes. That's where the work happens so
Yeah,
that when we come and we hit play
yeah.
and we hit live, that we can show up and be truly, truly present.
We have Charles. It says, Dr. Hunter, your thoughts on a news article heralding the first autistic NASA
Yeah,
driver.
driver.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so oh my gosh, I wish I had his name. So please share the name of the driver. But I saw a little bit, I think a snippet on NPR, on
Okay.
NPR about this. And I have wonderful thoughts that this is where this is what we want to see. We
Right.
want to see our autistic children, our children with autism,
Right.
whichever way you want to say it. We want to see children or folks with autism or Aspies, which a lot of times they term themselves, those are on the higher end of the spectrum. We
Hmm.
want to see them transitioning into careers. So
Okay.
the fact that this child, and let me say this also,
Okay.
Sometimes there is an intellectual impairment. Like my daughter is intellectually impaired, right?
Right.
Sometimes there's not that intellectual impairment. It's just so the symptoms of autism in another way. So this child could be, a savant, or could be, just gifted. Most of the time in autistic children, or children with autism, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
there is a gifting that is like no
Mm-hmm.
other. It's
Mm-hmm.
not all intellectual impairment to the point where they are not able to go out into the workplace,
Right.
or able to navigate a work or a day job. We
Correct.
want to continue to make sure not only do we highlight folks like that are
Mm-hmm.
able to take on that kind of a challenge,
Right.
celebrate it, share it out. And I will be sharing that I will be definitely sharing that on our page, that this
Okay.
young person is a NASCAR driver and how awesome that is.
All right. We have another comment too, Gwendolyn, and she says, "The heart is to do an excellent work. Amen." All right.
I know that's old, huh? Snaps, but I still snap, especially since we're doing Zoom, because you can't clap. So
No.
I still snap. I snap because yes,
Oh.
ma'am, it's to
Well,
do an
I
excellent work.
I'd like to. I know we're getting near the end of the show. This is how fast an hour goes. It seems
Woo.
like it's going to be. I know it seems like it's going to be long, but it isn't. It goes fast. But I just want to know: did you have any final words, Dr. Donna, that you would like to
Mm.
share with our audience before we come to an end?
I want to say, of course, again, thank you, Mary D. Truly, I appreciate you for just saying, "Hey, come on and talk about your show." I appreciate that. And I do want to offer those that would like to do more work in that area of relationships, giving themselves grace. Remember, I told you I am a full example of somebody who's messed up in different areas. Giving yourself grace and then giving yourself time to heal. Join me on, yes, thank you for my website. Go to my website and you can find out more about the show and how to link into it so that you can watch it. But it is a place for healing, it's a place for health and wholeness and some encouragement so that you can continue to do the work that you're doing and offering grace and space to others. And that's our website, Allie's Allies. Thank you, Mary D,
You know,
shouting us out. Allie's Allies. Yes, and that's where we do the work for our children and families that have intellectual and developmental disabilities. Thank you so very much. I'm graced to be with you and so, so thankful.
oh, we are so honored to have you, and I do so appreciate you. I want to make sure I put this up. So, those of you, this is Dr. Donna Marie Hunter. Please contact her, and I'm going to put the websites up again just to make sure people had a chance to copy those down. If you did, there we go. This is drdonnamariehunter.com. Go to her website. Ladies, gentlemen, you if it's not someone you can use personally, maybe you know someone that may need to number
Mm,
one, first of all, let's watch her show because I know
thank
just
you.
talking with you today, I know I'm going to be a fan. So yeah, you have a new fan in me. And then
Yay.
we have Gwen. She said thank you to she said thank you, beautiful, powerful ladies, great show. Oh, thank you, Gwen. I can tell you, that it's always my goal every Monday that it be a show that someone, as you said earlier, can glean from.
Mhm.
And if that's the case, then I've done my job. As long
Check,
as you
check.
I know. And I like to I'll also tell you, Dr. Hunter, have safe travels as you're going from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yeah,
I
thank
know
you.
that's what is that, a 5 hour flight? Something
It
like that.
is.
Uh-huh. That's what
I call it a grace gift because I'm truly grateful. I sit there, I do anything I can not to get, airsick. I'm grateful. I just tell
oh,
God how grateful I am to be on a plane with
oh
my with my double mask and turtleneck. Mm.
And here we go. William, it says Williams or Margaret Williams. Awesome. And she says, awesome. I work with
Oh,
individuals who are developmentally disabled. Thank you, Margaret. And Henrietta, that's my cousin. Hi,
mhm.
Henrietta. Henrietta said, I'm a fan also. She said she's a fan now also. So you end up getting fan.
I got two. Bring it on. Bring it on.
That's for sure. Now, when does your show broadcast on what day and time,
So
Dr.
Thursdays, now it's on it's EST, so it's Thursdays at 3 p.m. However, so
Okay.
that's noon, excuse me, it's noon on the Thursdays at noon here in on the West Coast. And then on Saturday morning, thank you. Thank
Uh-huh.
you. So Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. also. So
Okay.
literally I'll post, Mary, and I'm going to share with you. I'll post it so you can share it out, the link, so that when it goes completely live and we're every Thursday on,
Right.
folks can watch it. And if you have RVN television or if you have a Roku stick, then you'll be able to find Grace in Space.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again, Dr. Donna. And I'd like to thank our audience for viewing. I know we're right on time at 2 o'clock, so we do have to end the show, but thank you, thank you, thank you. And God
Thank
bless
you.
each and every one of you. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you, Mary.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.